Guys, it's Tanisha Nicole here, and today I just wanted to bring you guys a story time video. This story is going to be about the time when I was in 7th grade and my teacher called me ugly. So yeah, if you're interested in hearing more about this story, then just keep watching. Okay, so if you guys are familiar with Jersey, that's where I'm from. I went to a school called Leavitt Middle School, and it was in like Willingboro, New Jersey. So occasionally, you know, of course, you know, we would have substitute teachers here and there, whatever. This particular day, it was my geography class where my geography teacher was out. So we got this substitute. He was like a tender young thing substitute, you know what I'm saying? And I've seen him before in my other classes. Well, maybe once before in my other class, he was a substitute there. So I was kind of like excited to see him again because, like I said, like he was really fun. So we get into the classroom, whatever, and we see that our teacher is not there. And then like shortly after the bell rings for class to start, he comes in, and I was like really excited because I'm like, oh, okay, well last time he was my substitute, I didn't talk to him or whatever. I don't even know if he noticed me, but this time I want him to notice me. Cause you know when you're in the 7th grade and when you're in that age, how old are you in 7th grade? Like 13 or something? You just have these big crushes and you just have playing out your whole life. Like this is what my wedding's gonna like, this is what my dress is gonna be like. When I saw him, all those feelings came rushing to me because I'm just like, okay, this is my husband. And if I'm seeing him again, cause usually like where I was from, we would get substitutes, but they wouldn't be permanent. So it'd be a lot of different people. So for me to see this substitute again, I got really excited. So he walks into the classroom or whatever. He does what typical substitutes do, nothing. He just writes the assignment on the board, open your textbooks, turn to page 41 through 67, do the questions, and then pretty much just the end of the class. So he writes what's on the board, whatever. He writes it on the board and he sits down. And then at the end of the assignments, once we were done at the end of the class, we were supposed to get the teacher's manual and just check our answers and see if they're right, whatever. So in that, at that age, me and my friends used to always pass notes to one another. So he's sitting at his desk with his head down, like occasionally looking up to make sure everybody is still intact, nobody killed each other. So me and my friend are passing notes or whatever, and I don't remember exactly what the notes were saying, but regular teenage gossip, whatever, I'm sure. So everybody's kind of chilling, doing their own thing or whatever, and I'm like, okay, I gotta get this, I gotta get my husband to recognize me because we can't get married if he doesn't even know I exist. So at this point in my teenage brain, I'm like, okay, so I'm just gonna be loud. I'm just gonna be like, you know, really out there and whatever, trying to show my personality, which was not me at all. So I'm in the classroom, I'm being loud, I'm like, laughing at things. Girl, you're so funny, Nicole, what you doing? You coming about? Like just being really loud and obnoxious, okay? Like just being over the top, crazy, just loud, like loud for no reason. And then of course, like he would do his occasional like look up at me and then go back to doing what he was doing, and you know, so I'm like, okay, whatever, cool, that's cool. So I proceed to get louder. I'll just get louder, like, oh God, like just being crazy, trying to crack jokes. I'm sure they were corny, like just really being extra, to say the least. So he doesn't tell me to be quiet, he doesn't say any of that, whatever. So I'm just like, okay, whatever, cool. At this point, with me being loud, with me trying to be the center of attention, like he started to look at me or whatever. And at that moment, it wasn't like a look like, can you shut up, like can you calm down, like it wasn't that, like he was just looking. So I'm like, okay, all right, we up in there, like I'm about to get married. All right, because he noticed me, he think I'm cute because he's looking at me or whatever. And at that time, I'm not even thinking about like the age difference, like that type of stuff wasn't even in my brain or whatever, because I'm just like, you know, this is my husband, we're gonna get married and we're just gonna live happily ever after. Like that's just what we're gonna do. So cut to, it's like maybe 10 minutes left in class or whatever, and then like he just says, you know, I don't know exactly what he said, pretty much hurry up, finish your work or whatever, I'm collecting it, whatever. So we're rushing, scrambling, trying to do the answers or answer the questions or whatever the case may be. I go up and I get the teacher's manual from him. He just hands it to me like just regular, like not worried about me. But at that moment I thought he was worried about me. So he gives me the teacher's manual, whatever. I take my answers, of course. Let's be real, I just wrote down the correct answers. Like, why would I do this work if you're just gonna give me answers? So of course the occasional ones I'll be okay, B, X, you know, be wrong. But you know, so I did that, check myself, whatever, and he's standing at the end of the class. He stands at the door so that he can collect our papers as we walk out. So I'm like really excited. I tried to take my time because I'm like, okay, I want to be the last person, so that way he feels really comfortable about talking to me, because you know, nobody will know whatever he says to me, nobody will know. So I'm really excited. So I slowly gather my things, and mind you, like when the bell rings when you're in school, like shoom, like beeline to that door. No, I am taking my time. Let me gather all my books. Let me put all my paper in my binders. Let me just drag my feet and be extra slow so that I can be the last person in line and we can have a conversation. Okay, so I get my things and I walk to the door in his direction. He gives me a smile. Okay, it was a cute smile. So I'm like, oh, so I get real nervous. I'm like, oh yes, I did. Yes, I'm in there. So I walk to the door and he grabs my paper, and would you like to know what he said to me? Listen close. He says to me, the loudest girls in the room are the ugliest girls in the room.
The ugliest girls are the loudest girls in the room.
And I'm like, what? What? Mind you, in my head, I'm thinking he about to say, oh, hey, you know, how you doing? Meet me after school. Like, just something, just something along those lines. I want to take you to the movies. I don't care about my job. I will sacrifice my whole career for you, just to be with you. That's what I thought he was going to say. Then he goes on to say, don't be that ugly girl. You want to talk about somebody's face that was on the floor? Like, my face was like literally in pieces on the floor, and I had to like pick it up and put my face back together, because I'm like, but what you mean? Like, okay. And of course, me, you know, when you're a teenager and your whole world is crushed in that way, you ain't gonna, well, me at least, I didn't have no comeback. Like, I'm just like, oh, okay, and just kept going. Just kept going. I'm like, did he just call me ugly? Because I was being loud in class. But see, the thing about it was that I was being loud so that you could notice me. I'm like, you know, that's not really how I am. Like, I'm not like that though, you know? So I say all that to say this, okay? That moment is something that has stuck with me for my life, like my whole entire life. And I really pride myself on staying true to who I am, not being over the top. Like, of course, yeah, in the appropriate settings, I can get that way. I can be that way when I'm around people and I'm comfortable. But that really has been, I can hear him so vividly say it to me. Like, it's something that has resonated with me. So it was just in that moment where I was just like, okay, like, I don't want to be that ugly girl. I don't want to be that loud and obnoxious girl, because growing up, I would see girls like that and they would get all the attention. They would get all the boys because they're out there and they're popular. And here I am, I was trying to imitate or emulate what I was seeing, and it completely backfired. And even now, in anything that I do, I that's how I view people now. Like, it doesn't matter how beautiful you are or whatever, but if you have a loud, obnoxious, nasty personality, I just look at you like, what are you doing? And in that moment, thinking back on it, now that my brain wasn't clouded by my teenage hormones or whatever, I'm like, yeah, he legit was looking at me like I was crazy. But in that moment, I'm like, oh, he's looking at me like, yes, this is working or whatever. And I just kept turning it up, turning it up, turning it up, turning it up. So yeah, the moral of the story is, because honestly, like, as I do my story time videos, I want them to have a like purpose, a reason, a life lesson at the end. So I will say, just when it comes to life, and if you are a teenager, if you are somebody that's in school that's watching this, stay true to who you are, because your personality is going to shine through way more beautiful than something that you are, a person that you are trying to portray. So I can't stress enough, like, just do you, boo. Like, no, literally, like, do you. Don't do somebody else. No, do you. And if a person doesn't like you for who you are, then just keep it moving. Because me, here I am sitting here being loud, being crazy, disrupting class essentially, and my teacher was like, you ugly. Like, you're loud and ugly. Like, pick one. No. So yeah, that was my story. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys did like this video, please give it a thumbs up so that I know to do more. And yeah, stay beautiful, stay quiet, sit pretty, and guys will just come to you. I highlight my contour, all of that popping. Like, I feel really good about this foundation. As you can see from the demo that I did, I was a little bit put off by it because it was orange. And in that video clip, I kept saying,